The idea that 42% disapprove is a higher number than I would think. It says to me that the American people are thinking not just about this operation, but maybe more about also, well, what comes next.
Let's jump back to Scott Jennings, not on this show, this is over on CNN, talking about the 42% of people that oppose Maduro's capture, only because a certain man did it.
A recent Washington Post poll finds Americans pretty evenly split on the operation over the weekend. 40% approve, 42% disapprove, 18% are unsure. When it comes to who should decide the future leadership of Venezuela, 94% say the Venezuelan people, 6% say the United States. One thing I have to say is, this was a very successful military operation. The idea that 42% disapprove is a higher number than I would think. It says to me that the American people are thinking not just about this operation, but maybe more about also, well, what comes next.
Well, also it's Trump. 42% of the American people would oppose it if he cured cancer personally in the Oval Office tonight. There is a reflexive opposition to Trump. It is the entire platform of the Democratic Party, and to the extent that that's how their leadership tells them to act, that's how the Democratic grassroots are going to see it. You see Democrats today who long came on this network and others and called for Maduro's ouster, demanded it, now saying they oppose the fact that Donald Trump just arrested Maduro. This reflexive opposition to everything Trump does is corrosive of the Democratic Party, and you shouldn't look at these things through that lens. You should look at it and say, highly competent military and law enforcement operation, we got rid of a bad guy, there's a better future for Venezuela, and it's going to inure to the United States' benefit. But, it's Trump, so everything must be opposed. If he's for it,
well, it's not. Yeah, you shouldn't look at everything through that lens. It's a sort of, in some sense, it's a silly question, Jake. Look, you can question what Donald Trump did. You can question what the future might hold for Venezuela, and could we get into some version of a quagmire? Again, it's going to be very, very different. We're not just loading the country with troops and installing people. It's just going to be a very, very different thing. And again, it's in our hemisphere, not a world away. And we know that Iran and China have been encroaching and trying to get control of their oil. But all of that aside, what Scott's saying basically is 42%, all right, well, so 42% disagree with what Donald Trump did here. Okay, we know America is basically divided 50-50. 42% isn't that much. And it's also true. He says it in a joking manner. If they came out today, while we are on air right now, and Donald Trump was like, we have cured cancer, half the people would think it was horrible because they would say it's not a real cure and he did it in some sort of nefarious way, or it's just for him and his billionaire crony friends to profit, et cetera, et cetera. So giving me polling on this isn't that important. It is what is actually right and to the broader point, what is American policy in our part of the world? We are the last remaining superpower. We are the only country in the world that can really still do big things, and thank God for that.